From County College of Morris, this is CCM All Access.
Hello, and welcome to CCM All Access, the show that brings you news and information from the County College of Morris. Students on campus, members of the community, people doing good things. I'm Brenda Todd, coming to you via Zoom from my study, and today we're checking in with a few others from their homes to see how remote learning and teaching has been going on here at CCM. We will also get important information on the Titan Emergency Fund. Our first guest is Adjunct Math Professor Nan Schoenfeld. Welcome, Professor Schoenfeld.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure having you. You've been teaching at CCM since 1987, is that correct?
That's correct.
That's
been quite a while.
In your 33 years of teaching, have you ever experienced anything like what the educational system is going through right now?
There's been nothing like this. But I don't think, years ago we could have handled anything like this. We didn't have anything online. There was no way to run a course if you couldn't be in the classroom.
Right, that's a good point. When did we really start online learning at CCM?
It's been a while, but I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it's thank goodness that we have that though. Right, you bring up a good point.
Yeah, there's no way we could have done this in the 80s.
Right, exactly, exactly. So how have you adjusted to turning your curriculum into an online format?
Well, I now hold my classes on Zoom, and I tutor in the Math Center through WebEx. It's been a struggle because, I'm a math teacher. I need to write on the board. So it's hard to write with a mouse. I tell my students, just bear with me. It's not very neat. I just got myself a tablet with a stylus that I'm trying to learn that on now, but it was a little rough running my class this morning with that, but I'll get there. Luckily in the math department, we use my math lab through Pearson, so at least I can run tests and homework through there. So that's helpful.
Yeah, that's great. That is a great resource. Do you do this kind, like what we're doing right now? You do that through Zoom?
I do it
and
through
then
Zoom.
Can you write on a board behind you, or?
No, I use the whiteboard feature in Zoom or in WebEx. They both have them. So I just write on it, but with a mouse. So it's sloppy because I can't really type math equations.
Do you find that most of the students come to class?
No. A lot of them have said, I don't learn that way. I don't want to get up in the morning. I can't learn from my bedroom, whatever it is. So I have made it their option. I have written out notes, trying to write down everything I might say, and I send that to them for each class, and I go online in case anybody wants to have a one-on-one class or, a face-to-face class.
Do you find that you're inundated with emails and questions?
I get a few. It's not that bad.
Well,
it's nothing more than what they used to, I'm not getting the homework. How do I do this problem? Right.
Do you find that they're turning in their homework, the students?
Most are. I know it's tough.
It is very tough. And I know that a lot of students are really struggling with just focusing and the idea of is this really happening right now? Am I still accountable? How can I still be accountable for the work that I'm supposed to turn in? But things do have to kind of go on. And I think most of the professors are really making it work to some degree. And I noticed that they're giving, they've changed their deadlines to something more toward the end of the semester, as long as you get your work in through that time. I would imagine with math, that has got to be the hardest subject, actually, for that kind of thing.
It's hard to learn online.
Yes. And there's daily work, daily lessons that you have to give. So what are you kind of learning from this? What have you learned so far, and what do you hope to learn in the future with it?
Well, I'm definitely learning. I can teach it I can do this online. It is possible. Wasn't sure how I was going to do that because I was really worried. Do I hold up my phone and put a paper in front of me and write by hand? Do I put a whiteboard behind me and try to write? Except then I'm afraid it's going to be reversed and I'm writing backwards. I was very worried about all this. So at least I've found a way to do that. I've been tutoring in the Math Center, which is great because I can answer the questions one-on-one right in front of them, and it's almost like we're sitting next to each other.
Well, that's terrific.
And the whiteboard features on WebEx and Zoom, they allow both of us to write. So I can write something, and then they can write something underneath it. And it's very helpful. It's like writing on the same sheet of paper.
Wow, that's really amazing. So you change formats between classes?
The tutoring center uses WebEx.
Okay.
My class asked me to use Zoom. So I've been using Zoom for class.
Right.
I try to be accommodating.
Sure. And you're also a math tutor, is that correct?
Correct.
So how long have you been doing that?
Oh, since the Math Center opened, it's been forever.
And what are your hours now? Do you have online hours?
Well, I had set hours when we were on campus, so those hours just continue, and people still sign up online like they used to. And we're given on our tutoring days, we're given a schedule. So when it's time for somebody for their tutoring session, I'll open the WebEx class and I'll invite them when it's time for them to come.
Okay, so then the tutoring center is still open?
It is still open. Yeah.
And the hours, have they changed in any way?
Everything's the same as it was. It's on WebEx.
Right. Well, that's great. It looks like you're making it work.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us about your position as president of the Adjunct Faculty Union.
Well, for those who don't know, an adjunct faculty is somebody who's working part-time. It's very different from the full-time faculty. We don't have as many rights. We're really kind of like temp employees where we're given a contract just for the semester. Now, I mean, like you said, I've been here 33 years, so each semester I get another contract, but it's not a guaranteed thing. So we have to watch out that our rights aren't taken away from us because it could be very unfair. If somebody's been teaching and then all of a sudden something's not given to you, or we fight for the rights for the adjuncts is really what we do. We fight for salaries, all kinds of rights. Like a few years back, they gave us the right for our children to go tuition free, which was great because my daughter got a degree at CCM and she's doing great with it now. So, those are the kind of things that our union has fought for, just so there's an incentive to come and work part-time at the community college.
Sure, absolutely. So you've been an adjunct professor the entire 33 years?
I had 1 year where I was a temporary full-time.
Okay. And
how long? Other years I've been adjunct.
And how long has this union been in place?
I couldn't even tell you that. Sometime in the 90s.
Okay, so you were.
I haven't been an officer that long.
You have been an officer?
I have not. No,
oh, not.
I've been an officer for 2 years.
Okay, but when you first started in 1987,
there was no union.
Okay, right, and so you saw the need for a union, of course, at that time.
Well, you want to know a funny thing? My mom was a president of FACM, which was a full-time union when I first started teaching. And whenever there was an issue for us, I would call her and say, okay, I'm not calling my mom, I'm calling the FACM president. I mean, whatever we got, they kind of helped us get, but we didn't have our own union at that time.
And so you said she was the president of what union? What was that about?
FACM. It's the full-time faculty union.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's great that you have that now, but because of course, when you think of the fact that you get a contract at the beginning of each semester, did you say each year? Yeah, then.
It's definitely different and it's something we have to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, do you have any advice for students right now who are really struggling with this distance learning?
You know, it's hard. I have another daughter who is a junior at Stockton right now. And I see her, it's a struggle. You know, she has to wake up for class. And the problem is, since she's not going to class, she's waking up and she's just rolling over in bed, and now she's in class. It's hard to mentally be in class. You know, it's hard for her to engage. I've heard other students say, you know, it's really hard to be in classroom from my bed. And, you know, if you can move out of your bed, it might make it a little bit easier to at least engage in the class. But it's hard to stay on top of things. It's easy to get behind. I know the teachers are working with students, but it's tough. We're at the end of the semester. We're almost at final exams. And, you know, it's hard to stay on top of it. So you got to keep remembering you're a student and you need to do the work.
Yeah, I think keeping a schedule is probably the toughest thing right now. But I have heard that keeping a schedule, it really will help you with your focus. But you're so right, that idea of just kind of rolling over in bed and you're in class. You can do that, but mentally very difficult to make that transfer. Yes, absolutely. That's good advice. Thank you for joining us today, Professor Schoenfeld. It was really a pleasure to speak to you, and good luck with all of this.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we'll be speaking with CCM student Matt Sinnott.
I'm Andrea Lucia, a graduate of County College of Morris. At CCM, I gained a high-quality education, was involved with clubs on campus, and performed university research in tissue engineering. My CCM education prepared me for ongoing success. Today, I am at Cornell University, studying engineering and performing research in cardiac tissue engineering. The professors and staff at CCM helped me to start right and finish strong.
Hello, and we're back on CCM All Access. Joining us is Matt Sinnott, a sophomore in the Criminal Justice Program here at CCM, and a crew member on our show. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Brenda. It's good to be here.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
Rumor has it that this is your last semester at CCM. Is that right?
That is correct. After this semester, I plan on transferring, and sadly, I'll be leaving the County College of Morris.
Well, we will definitely miss you on the show. There's no doubt about it. So are you going to a 4-year? Are you transferring to a 4-year college, or are you going to take time off?
So what I did is I went to a lady named Tara. She is a Rutgers representative here at CCM. She's in DeMare Hall. So CCM offers a joint, almost like education venture with Rutgers through our criminal justice program. They offer it for a few other programs too. So what I can do is after this semester, I can apply to take Rutgers classes at CCM. It's only night classes, but I am a Rutgers student. I just get to, and I have Rutgers professors, a Rutgers email, but I just go to CCM at night and they send professors up to teach us. So it's a great opportunity for me, especially for someone who maybe can't go to Rutgers, or like for me, it's just an easier option to get to Rutgers at CCM. And then if I want, I could always just transfer to the Rutgers campus at Newark or New Brunswick.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So let's talk about distance learning. And that's kind of the focus of the show. How is it treating you? What do you think?
Well, first I had a kind of a hard time with it. There's a reason I don't take online classes. It's because I've always found it personally for myself harder to self-motivate and keep on track for deadlines and just getting the work done. I could always push it off till the next day, and then everything would kind of pile up. That's why I always stayed on campus. But with this, it kind of forced myself to stay organized, stay motivated, which is good for me because I never had the drive to do it. So this made me do it. So distance learning, I found all my classrooms, the first week was a little bit of a hiccup. Everyone was just getting settled. But once we got into the flow of everything and professors have been emailing daily, and they're always available. So I think it's turned out well.
How many classes are you taking right now?
Right now I have 3 classes.
Okay. So you find that it's easy enough to juggle those?
Oh yeah, I have enough time, especially with the virus. I haven't been able to work. I just started working last week. So I definitely found with nowhere to go and nowhere to be, I had enough time to sit down and get my work done personally.
Right. Are most of your classes, now you're in criminal justice.
Yes.
So what are some of your classes that you take in that?
So right now I have police operations. I have a computer communications class, which is, an elective, and forensic science. The only real hiccup would have been my police operations class. We have Professor Dr. Paul. We meet with him, and it's kind of a physical fitness class. It's pretty much training us and preparing us for going into the field, being hired, hireability, resumes. But his part of the class is all about physical fitness, dietary, nutrition. So doing that at home, especially after the parks closed and everything like that, it was a lot harder to get the workouts in we wanted, because you want to stay on a schedule. He would have us make a workout journal and submit it to him, and he would give us tips and kind of keep us on track, because he understood that not everyone has a at-home gym. So it was mostly just running and stuff like that. But most of my other classes pretty much have stayed the same. Computer communications was already half online, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, so that was easy. And forensic science was just submitting the labs online. So I would just say the biggest hiccup would have been police operations and trying to stay on top of the physical part of that class.
Right. So I know a lot of people have complained. I mean, for me too, it's been taking classes online. It's kind of this feeling of, am I really taking classes? Is the professor really going to hold me to these assignments?
Yeah.
I think that's been kind of a struggle for a lot of students. Do you feel that that's the case?
Yes and no. I think for my 2 classes, police operations and computer application, I have to train myself because I need it. For police operations, it's the motivation of getting a job after college. So I have more investment in it to stay with the assignments, to make sure I get the grades that I want, to make sure that I get the feedback I want from my professor. But for some classes like forensic science, there's always the option of all the chapters and the YouTube videos, which are great resources that they put online. My professor spent a lot of time recording entire presentations and labs to put on YouTube that we could all watch. Right. But at the same time, it's a lot easier to just skip all that, go to what's due, just do what we get graded on, and then avoid the note taking.
Yes. So as far as graduation, you would normally be having a ceremony.
Yeah. I forget. I had an email from the commencement because I applied for, the ceremony and everything like that. They did send out an email updating us on what would have happened. I don't remember exactly what it said, but so everyone who did apply by the due date or the date and everything like that, they did get updates on what would happen and everything like that.
Yeah, I believe they gave us a few choices, because I'm graduating this semester too. To either, from my understanding, it was either to have a virtual ceremony in May, graduate with the class that will be graduating in December, or wait until next or the following year. And then there was also an option to donate, I think, to the Titan Foundation.
Okay. Yeah.
Not you personally, but a vote to say, okay, should we then, just donate all the money that we would normally spend?
Yeah, the commencement fee. Yeah. I think those are all good ideas. Personally, I probably would just go with either the December or the donation. But at the end of the day, it's what happens, and everyone who's graduating this year is kind of in the same boat.
Right, exactly. We're making a lot of compromises.
Yeah.
So do you have any words of advice for people maybe who are struggling with this time as a student?
Well, I hope that everyone's staying safe, and I hope everyone has a good family dynamic that they can all withstand each other for however long they've been together. For me and other procrastinators, I guess it's just to try to get the things done on time. That was always my biggest problem, especially with the finals week. Kind of sneaks up on you. You see the email that says final this date. You're like, I got to make sure I have everything in and have my studying. It's time to buckle down and make sure that I don't drop the ball on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. So just as a final note, are there any positives to this at all that you think?
Personally, I think I get to spend time with the family that I usually don't see that much, because either they're at work, I'm at school, especially I take night classes a lot, or I'm at work and they're home. So personally, it's the family time I get to have. We have a lot of movie nights, a lot of dinners to get more. My family and I have been cooking more dinners than I think I've had in the last 5 years. It's been great spending dinners with the family once again.
That's great. I know the food is a good plus. Right?
Yeah, it's a good time.
Well, Matt, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. Good luck with your finals and good luck at Rutgers and with your future.
Thank you. I wish the same to you. It's been great working with everyone at the studio, and I hope everyone's staying safe and happy.
Thank you very much. We're going to take another quick break, and when we return, we'll be speaking with Executive Director of the CCM Foundation and Director of the Titan Emergency Fund.
I'm Andrea Lucia, a graduate of County College of Morris. At CCM, I gained a high-quality education, was involved with clubs on campus, and performed university research in tissue engineering. My CCM education prepared me for ongoing success. Today, I am at Cornell University, studying engineering and performing research in cardiac tissue engineering. The professors and staff at CCM helped me to start right and finish strong.
And we're back on CCM All Access with Katie Olson, the Executive Director of the CCM Foundation and the Director of the Titan Emergency Fund. Hi, Katie.
Hi, Brenda. Thanks so much for having me today.
Well, thank you for joining us under these strange conditions.
It is, yeah, it's kind of fun to do a Zoom interview.
Yeah, it is. You know, before we get into the Titan Emergency Fund, can you tell us a little about yourself and give us an overview of the CCM Foundation?
Sure, absolutely. So as she mentioned, I'm Katie Olson. I'm the Executive Director of the County College of Morris Foundation. And it's interesting because, of course, we have the name County College of Morris and then Foundation, but the Foundation is actually its own separate 501c3. So we're the nonprofit arm of the college, although we are institutionally related in the sense that all of the money that is raised in the mission of the County College of Morris Foundation is to support the college and our students and initiatives, programs, and capital projects that are on campus.
So then how is the money raised?
Great question. There's a number of ways, although a little more uniquely right now, given our virtual environment. But typically throughout the year, we have a couple of fundraising events, golf outing in the fall and a gala in the spring. And this year's gala was actually scheduled for tomorrow evening, May 7th. So of course it's been canceled. But we also reach out to past alumni, community members, local corporations, businesses, and community organizations to ask for individual gifts to raise money for special projects and scholarships. And really, historically, we've been a very strong scholarship foundation. 80% of the money that we raise goes through us to students for scholarships for their schooling. It's just more recently that we have had a real focus on capital fundraising.
Okay, and so then the money is going to the students, mostly, you know, scholarship money. And what are some of those scholarships that you offer?
Well, actually, there's a wide variety. About 130 scholarships go out, and it's around $280,000 a year to about 250 students. And it ranges from every program across the campus to just some general. You know, we have a scholarship for a student who lives in Montville. All they have to do is be a student and live in Montville. So, you know, it can be very, very generic or very specific to a program in our engineering and manufacturing department. You know, we have a great relationship with the Gene Haas Foundation, and they fund our students' primarily female, although we do have some male recipients that receive a scholarship for their mechanical engineering technology program. So, there is a wide opportunity that folks give to.
And how do students become aware of these, or how do they apply for these scholarships?
So we try to do a good marketing effort at the period of application. This year, the application will be open in August and September for fall awards. Typically though, and that's the tough part about us being virtual right now, is students would be applying as we speak for the fall awards. So what we do is we rely on obviously social media, using the text messaging campaigns, and we have a lot of really dedicated faculty that will make their students aware that there are scholarships ready to be awarded, and then students apply through an online site through our financial aid office and go through the process through financial aid, and they're awarded through that office.
That's fantastic. Okay, so let's talk about the new part of the initiative, that is the Titan Emergency Fund. When did you create that?
So actually, this is a conversation that the foundation board, so yeah, believe it or not, the CCM Foundation, we have our own board of directors separate from the college trustees, although we do have some trustees that also sit on the foundation board. But this is a conversation we've been having. Our students are really having periods in their life where there are basic needs that are not being met. And, they are coming to us kind of in last minute emergency situations where they in some cases don't have the money to pay their power bill or childcare for their student, or, oh my gosh, I got into a car accident and my car is broken down and I can't get to school. So emergency situations come up like that. Also, our employees that are in our task office, the Academic Success Center, reach out to people and say, hey, you haven't registered, and we'll discover that there are financial issues that the student has run into. So about a year ago, the CCM Foundation Board instituted the Titan Emergency Fund. And throughout this year, there has been a focus on it, and the Foundation Board put some of our unrestricted money towards it. Once the coronavirus our crisis really has happened, what we know is that students now more than ever are facing unsurmountable needs. So before we had the crisis, we had students participate in a real college survey, and 33% of our students suffer from food insecurity. 35% have housing insecurity, and as many as 11% of our students have experienced homelessness in the last year. So with 30 million people on unemployment in the last 8 weeks, we know that this need has increased heavily. And so the foundation board, we got together in a meeting and we said, hey, we're going to really make this an effort. So we actually kicked off the campaign yesterday, a Spring Giving Tuesday. And I'm really proud to say that we right now have 45 gifts and over $18,000 raised toward our $50,000 goal, which will go through June 30th. So we just, we want students to be able to continue their education and not have a hiccup along the way as they move through. And especially with COVID and the crisis and so much unemployment, community colleges and County College of Morris definitely is going to be the first stop for rebuilding the economy. Students being able to continue their education is incredibly important. So
incredibly important, and what a wonderful cause this is. What a wonderful foundation. So what is the criteria for the student? Do they need to be a full-time student? Or what are the criteria?
So, well, that's the really neat part about this scholarship is they are able to work with the Academic Success Center, or Task Plus, I guess we're calling it now, because we have a few additional employees that are helping out with that. And, they're able to go to them and work through, they just need to have been through the financial aid process first and met whatever criteria that they need to be sure that all the other funding sources, the CARES money, as well as any financial aid that they would be awarded, is awarded first. And when they run into a situation where there's not enough to cover those needs, is when they would qualify for the emergency fund. So I'm so lucky that I work with wonderful people in the Academic Success Center and the Financial Aid Office. Dean Jan Caffey, leads that effort, and Louise Messoni in the Financial Aid Office does a great job awarding our scholarships. And we're just really lucky that, we have that partnership from the foundation to the academic side. Yeah,
that's really wonderful. Do you have anything else that you want to say about it before we sign off?
Well, I just thank you so much for allowing me to put this out. And I know that it does get publicized. So certainly I would encourage anybody that, is able to consider making a personally meaningful gift. And you can visit us at ccm.edu/donate and make a gift today to support our students. So I just thank you so much for allowing me to put this message out there. Thanks, Brenda.
Well, thank you, Katie, for being on the show, and thank you and the foundation for the great work that you're doing for the community.
Okay, thank you
so much. And thank you for tuning in today. Gifts to the Titan Emergency Fund help students meet unexpected expenses brought about by COVID-19 and will be used immediately where the need is most critical. If you have any questions about donating or need help, please email the CCM Foundation at foundation@ccm.edu or call 862-419-5134. From everyone here at CCM All Access, stay safe and good health.